Hello, welcome to the Daily Millwall for Saturday, the 8th of April 2023. In today's Millwall news, it feels weird because it's a Saturday and the game was yesterday, so today's post match. You've probably been down the pub thinking it was Sunday, but you noticed they ain't selling Sunday roasts. What bloody day is it today? Well, yeah, it's Saturday, but we're doing a post match, which means it's going to be a boring video full of stats. But before we get to that, we've got some more post match comments. And we're going to start with this from londonnewsonline.co.uk. It's the 4 takeaways from Mill's 0-0 draw with Luton Town. Clamour for SA to start and Lions seriously limiting XG of opposition. Millwall drew 0-0 with Luton Town yesterday in the Championship. The Lions ended the evening in 5th place in the table with 7 matches remaining. Here are Richard Cawley's takeaways from the match at the Den. Defence is on top. It was no major surprise that this Good Friday match was a tight affair with chances largely at a premium. It was Millwall who had the better opportunities with Ryan Lenz's long distance strike, forcing Heath and Half into a flying save to his right. Oliver Berg and Andres Voglsammers also had openings in the box, but a poor first touch let the former down in the opening minutes. Cyclone's pass opening up the Town defence, while the latter got the ball trapped under his feet and a decent opening fizzled out. Yeah, I don't know why did they not take it on first time? I don't know. I don't know why they didn't hit it first time. Just get your foot on it and get towards goal. It doesn't need to be a perfect shot in the corners. Even if you had a goalkeeper, we had the one the other day where it hit the goalkeeper's hands and went into the goal. Because when you surprise them by taking it early, they haven't got a chance to set themselves up. So I don't know why they both didn't do that. While Millwall have struggled for goals in recent weeks, you've also got to praise their defensive resilience. Luton had an XG of just 0.18, the host with 0.64. Other low XGs include Huddersfield 0.29, Reading 0.04, Norwich 0.46, and Stoke 0.78, and QPR 0.48. What it shows is that the Lions do not give loads of big chances away. Yeah. So expected goals is basically the quality of your chances. So Readings were just absolutely abysmal, like long shots or barely that, and that will give you a low XG. A penalty kick will give you an XG of 0.8. So because it's basically free shot on goal. So yeah, that's just some comparison for you. George Long saved late on from Carlton Morris and Alfie Doty, but both were stops you would expect him to make. It was a fiercely competitive encounter full of industry and application. Neither team completed more than 200 passes in the physical and largely scrappy fixture. SA decision. When is the right time to start Romain SA? There are plenty of Millwall fans calling for the England under-18 international to be ahead of Oliver Burke and Duncan Watmore in the pecking order. Watmore struggled to make any impact at West Bromwich Albion the previous weekend, and Burke, who came into the starting lineup against Luton at the expense of George Honeyman, could also have few complaints if he doesn't retain his place at Hull City on Monday. The lack of cutting edge or productivity from the wide areas is certainly a factor. Mill's recent performances lacking that extra zip in the final third. You can argue that the reason why SA has been effective when introduced to the action is because he is being used as an impact sub, but the clamour for him to be involved more will only grow unless the senior pros in his position start delivering a bit more. Yeah, one of the things is when you come on as a substitute, obviously you've got fresh legs, especially what is it? SA's like 17. I mean, 17, you got bags. You should have bags full of energy, especially if you're a pro athlete. I mean, if you're like your average 17-year-old, maybe they're a bit dopey and they like to sleep a lot. But pro athlete, I mean, you should be having very fresh legs when you come on the pitch, and you're playing against players that, especially central defenders, who've been on the whole game. Because one of the dynamics, even though we have the 5 subs now, and it's coming out how I expected it to come out, that you would you change all of your attacking options. You don't bring on fresh legs in defence, because it's about the defence is kind of like it's in your mind. It's like experience. It's not about having fresh legs, and that's certainly not how any. I don't think any teams are doing it like that. It's literally um, all of their all of the subs are being used to bring on fresh attacking players to play against defenders who have got tired legs, which is what SA is doing. Defensive worries. Gary Rowett told our paper after the Luton match that Charlie Cresswell was set to be out for around 6 weeks. The fractured eye socket he suffered at West Bromwich Albion. So unless the Lions reach the Championship first, the England Under-21 international is unlikely to play again before his loan from Leeds United ends. Ryan Leonard is another option to slot into the back line, especially if Millwall switched to a back three, but he came off with a groin problem yesterday. It means that there is major reliance on Sean Hutchinson staying fit to partner Jake Cooper. Hutchinson came back into the side against Luton due to Cresswell's injury and underlined if it was required what a good defender he is at this level. It was a seamless return for the club captain before he was subbed after cramping up. Lock, stock and barrel. It remains one of the Championship's great mysteries this season as to why officials seem to have a complete blind spot to fouls on Jake Cooper when he is attacking the opposition's penalty box. There were 2 occasions when former Charlton centre-back Tom Lockyer had his hands all over the big Lions defender, but referee Darren England, happy to let strong challenges go all afternoon, did not point to the spot he should have done at least once. At the moment, there is absolutely no deterrent for any team trying to combat Cooper's aerial prowess by illegal means because officials are not inclined to do anything about it. Rowett made the point correctly that if VAR had been used in use in Luton, and Lockyer would probably have been punished. Yeah, that's been happening all season. It started at the start of the season, and what we got told, it was put in the press that one of the notes to the referees this season, because every season they tell them, oh, they got a thing, I'll do something about this, do something about that, do something about the subs going off, tell them to hurry up if they're too slow, give them a yellow card and all that stuff. They give them a new thing at the start of each season to focus on. And if they don't do it, they end up getting in trouble and they end up not progressing in their job. So apparently one of the things that they all had given to them at the start of this season was physicality, that football should be a physical game, and it does just because you get touched doesn't mean it's a foul. And that's kind of that's not helping us because they constantly touch and molest. I'm going to use the word molest Jake Cooper. So it's getting to the point where the way they're touching him, he might be better off calling the police and getting them to do something about it rather than get a penalty. I mean, the way he gets touched sometimes. I mean, yeah, I'm sure there are people who have been called sex perverts and stuff like that, and just for what doing to other people what is being done to Jake Cooper this season. It's quite disturbing, to be honest with you. Yeah, not good at all. So there you go. There's the 4 takeaways from the South London Press. And we're going to move on to some pictures. So obviously this is Ryan Leonard. The shot that he took on. It's a bit of a good that he saw it opening up because obviously geezer there. His angles weren't right, so Ryan Leonard saw that straight away and decided to ping it towards the bottom corner, and it was a good shot. But the geezer's wearing gloves. Why is he wearing gloves? It's not bloody cold. But yeah, so this is picture specials from Millwall's game yesterday. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Here are a selection of pictures from Brian Tonks, Heath Gillard, and PA from the match. That's Press Association, not Philadelphia. So there's Tom Bradshaw. Today's attendance 18,422, so not quite a record buster, but that must put it in the top 10 of highest attendances at the new Den, or the Den as we're calling it now. Look, see what I'm talking about? Look, that's like Greco-Roman wrestling there. There's Bradshaw. That's Ryan Lander with his shot. George Saville. Gary Rowett saying 5 at the back. 5 at the back. Very dramatic, isn't it? There you go. So, moving on to this also from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall boss comments on attacker's new deal and backs him to build on first campaign in English football. Millwall attacker Andreas Voglsammers is being backed to build on his first season in English football. The 31-year-old German who signed from Union Berlin in August has triggered an appearance-based contract extension until the summer of 2024. Lions manager Gary Rowett told the South London Press, "Rather than sign someone on a 2-year deal when it's all new, you're never sure how they're going to settle, and maybe a player is a little bit older. In a way, it's almost saying you can very easily get another year if you have a reasonable season, which we all think you will." Voggy is another one like Z, who I've watched for a long time. When he first come to Armenia Bielefeld, I remember going over to watch a couple of games. He's had a couple of injuries over the years, but he's always been one I've liked. I felt that his physicality, power and aggression and quality would be transferable to the Championship. I'm really pleased he's here for another season. I'll be better for it next year. He'll really impact this year. But next year he'll know what the division is all about. He's also been over here without his partner for quite a while. Coming from Germany and being on your own for the best part of 6 or 7 months is not easy. He has settled in really well. So that is interesting. Some behind the scenes there. So he's kind of stuck here, and he's been Skyping or FaceTime his missus back home for the past 6 or 7 months. So I'm guessing that she's over here now. Well, hang on. Well, let's not jump the gun. It says partner. It doesn't say missus or girlfriend. So there you go. I'll leave that there. But yeah, so also interesting how Gary Rowett is talking about next season. So, are we going to have another go? You think we could win well, let's not say win. Think we could finish in the top 2 next season? Sounds like Gary Rowett's planning for an improvement next season, which if we do finish in the playoffs, would be quite some achievement. And you would think, what do we need to carry that on? Who do we need to sign to keep pushing things forward? Do we need a younger centre back with a bit of quality? Is that Charlie Bressel? I don't know, but there you go. Voglsammers made 35 league appearances but dropped to the bench for last weekend's 0-0 draw at West Brom with Duncan Watmore starting wing. "I told Vogue he was very, very unfortunate not to start," said Rowett. "I think I'm going to end up rotating those wings a lot in the last 7 games, or however many we've got, just because of the nature of the games. We've got to try and get that right impact. I toyed with Berkey and Duncan. In some of the recent away games, both G and Vogue have worked so hard for the team that I thought we need something of a wild card to get us up the pitch. Maybe a dribbler or a bit of pace. G's set-piece delivery, we needed that as well. Berkey looked really bright when he came on. Dunks hasn't played loads and he looked a bit lacking in game time. It's hard when you're coming in to impact straight away." Indeed. So all of these different players all have different qualities, and they're all kind of different. So it's literally horses for courses, and it's up to Gary Rowett to decide which horse needs to start on which racetrack. So we'll see what happens on Monday. Who's starting Monday? I assume Honeyman will, because I think that was the plan, because he obviously is a Hull. I think he's from that area, or he used to play for Hull at least. So I'm sure that he wanted to play in that game. So he said, "Can I start in that game?" Pretty sure. But we'll see. So yeah. But Voglsammer, so he's been on his own for the past 7 months, stuck in this dreary, rain-sodden island, and it looks like things might be improving. So there you go. Moving on to this from SouthwarkNews.co.uk. More post-match comments from Gary Rowett. Millwall and Luton Town continue to upset the odds for the Championship promotion race. Gary Rowett has highlighted the similarities between his side and the Hatters as both teams close in on a top 6 finish. Gary Rowett believes that there are key similarities in how his Millwall side and Luton Town operate in the Championship, with both teams continuing to battle for a place in this year's playoffs. The Lions and the Hatters have two of the smallest budgets in the entire division, but they occupy 5th and 3rd place respectively, with just 6 games to go. Rob Edwards' men are looking to secure a top 6 finish for the 2nd season running, while Gary Rowett is looking to guide his side to their highest league finish since 2002. They continue to battle out at the top end of the division against the odds, with the likes of Norwich City, West Brom and Watford all trading them in the battle for promotion, despite boasting recent campaigns in the Premier League and far bigger finances. "It's a testament to Luton and ourselves that we're there," Rowett said after yesterday's draw. "I think both teams have got qualities in areas, but both teams are there because every week we turn up, we work, we fight. We make it hard for other teams, and we do the basics really, really well defensively and in midfield. The difference in games has been somehow someone scoring a goal to change the game or a set piece to change the game. I think that's why both teams are where they are. There's lots of teams with players that would be expected to win games and get them into the top 6 for their teams. But we're both in there. That's why I said it was a tough game. It's never an easy game against Luton. How many games have they lost in their last 12? Probably very, very few. And they've had a lot of good away results. I'm not too disappointed with the performance, so I expected it to be a little bit like that. And I knew it was always going to be the one moment to change the game, but neither team could quite find it. Indeed, like I said, I think we had a couple of very decent chances that if Berkey and Voglio just took it on, just touched it first time towards the goal, could have went in. I don't know what they were trying to like. They were trying to make sure that they got the shot off really, really well, which is a noble thing. But I mean, sometimes you just got to jump in there and stick your leg on it, which is kind of what Bradshaw does at times, and especially when he got that hat trick. I think he had like 4 shots and 3 of them went in. So sometimes you just got to get on the end of it. Don't try and guide your shot into the top right. Just get your foot on it. Go with it. So we're going to move on now to stats. Here we go. Now, XG in the middle above the red FT. 0.83 for Millwall and 0.25 for Luton, which isn't a lot. Yeah, that's not a lot of XG. So that's basically That's basically saying we should have won that 1-0. So we kind of underperformed. But as mentioned in the 4 takeaways from the South London Press, we've restricted them to not very much in terms of them going forward. And if you look at it one way, that's we basically our production going forward in terms of output of chances was 3.3 of a factor better than them. So if you take 0.25 times it by 3, so 0.25 and then 0.5 and then 0.75, they're still under us. So we had 3.3 times as many good chances than they did. This is our chances here. Here they are all over the pitch. You can see nothing really standing out. I imagine that two best chances, that one will probably be Bogey. That's Bogey's one, and the other one that was Ryan Leonard, and right at the end of the game. So yeah, and there's one right on the touchline there. That's Tom Bradshaw, 18 minutes, and quite a few long range shots as well. But here we go for Luton. So 4 shots from outside the area and 2 down the side. They couldn't get a shot off in the middle of the park. They couldn't do it. So let's just select this and go first half. Very boring first half, wasn't it? Not a lot going on. And second half, a bit more for Millwall, but same old for Luton. Not really much. Fairness rating, was that a fair result? 81.79 out of 100. So let's say that was kind of a fair result. Yeah, look, even though we did drop 2 points, at least we didn't lose. At least we didn't lose because obviously a point gained is better than no points gained. But we might have to play Luton again, and we didn't lose to them, and we kept a clean sheet. Not only that, but in the game at Kenilworth Road, what is it, a month ago or so, we went 2 up, and we could have won that if the subs had been made a bit earlier. But so there you go. Now moving on to whoscored.com, and if you look on the right hand side, you can see some player ratings. They're giving this website's giving the Luton players a higher rating. You can see their goalkeeper is the 5th highest rated player, so that means something. Obviously, he had a lot to do. Murray Wallace had the most shots. Well, there's 4 players who had the most shots jointly, 3 of them. Ryan Leonard, Voglsammer, and Murray Wallace. Tackles, weirdly, Zion Fleming has the most tackles in the game, 4. And probably not what you want your attacking midfielder to do, but hey, got to get it when you can. So if we go back to the left, Millwall were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities through individual skill. Were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities from set pieces, but we were poor at finishing. And Luton had no strengths, but were poor at finishing and gave away a lot of free kicks around the box. And if we go down, and you can see attempts 14 to 6, 5 to 4 open play, 8 to 2 set piece, 1 to 0 counter attack. So yeah, that's not very good, is it? So passing, something was mentioned about passing, not a lot of passing going on yet. So which literally look identical. Look, 328 to 321, which is not usual. If you've seen some of the stats videos before, you obviously see the teams we play against, they pass the ball a lot more than we do. We're very direct. We don't fuck around. We just try and get it up the other end. So literally same old, very identical. Which is not surprising. Going into the game, obviously our home form was 110, drawn 5, lost 4. Their away form was 110, drawn 5, lost 4. 2 very similar teams in terms of not only their budgets but the results that they're getting this season. So there you go, 16 to 13 crosses, 1 through balls, 72 to 75 long balls, and 239 to 232 short passes. And the average pass streak was 3, which is it's like doppelganger. It's like what Mario and Wario. Pretty similar situations going on. So see here, the attack sides. Luton were mostly going down the wings, especially the left side. Shot directions. They were shooting down the left, as we just saw on that shot map. Action zones. Their positions. Very compact. Not only that, but it seems that Jay Cooper was going forward quite a bit. And that looks at, what does that look like? 4-4-1-1 or 4-4-2-3-1. Yeah. Yes, but you can see, you can't see Jay Cooper because he's underneath the 23, which is George Saville. But yeah, very compact, and looks like Luton were playing with a sweeper, 1-3-4-1-1. Very weird, very weird. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, there you go. Moving on to this. So there's the match events, obviously yellow card for Saville and then 2 for them, and then the subs get made too late. Should they have been done early? Maybe not. Don't know. And you think, well, 2 of the subs were, so one of them was optional, tactical, Voglsammers for SA, on probably Burke as well. But Hutchinson, like they said, he cramped up, and Leonard got injured at the end. So 2 of them were injury related. Let's go down. If you go to the club badges, top left, top right, you can see 6.69 for Millwall average player rating and 6.81 for Luton. What that means, I'm guessing that Luton got higher scores because they had a lot of defending to do, which does seem that obviously Horvath, Lockyer, Bell got quite a high score, obviously Cody Dramer as well, and Doty. So they're 2 wingers. Obviously, they were mostly going down the wing. In terms of Millwall, all doing very well except for Bradshaw and Voglsammers 6.4, but yeah, still good enough. Highest rated player for Millwall, Leonard 7.6. Okay, so let's go down and see who did what. So total shots 14-6, and there you go. It's being spread around. Obviously, Voglsammer with 3, Murray Wallace with 3, Ryan Leonard with 3. So the main players, Fleming, Bradshaw, not really doing a lot of shooting. When you consider, so they were on the pitch for 90 minutes. Ryan Leonard come off early and Voglsammer come off early. Possession was pretty even in that as well, 50-50. But basically, we just kind of edged it by a little bit. And in terms of players, George Saville, 7.9% of match possession was with him, and that's incredibly high. Oh, 8.2 for Murray Wallace, 8.2. He's even higher. Interesting. Okay. And you can see their goalkeeper had the ball a lot as well. Okay. Pass success percentage 58-64. So that's the passing. You can see George Long 24, down in the 20s. Dribbles 4-9. Aerials 134-32. Pretty much teams are even. Burke won 7 aerials. Saville as well, and Wallace. So Saville and Wallace doing a lot in the game. Tackles 19-11. As we saw Fleming with 4 tackles, Burke with 3. Tackling higher up the pitch, I assume. I don't know. Corners, these are the players who won the corners. Dispossessed 5-11. So there you go, having the ball taken off them. Mostly Luton. Good stuff. So let's finish by looking at this. So obviously we had, 14 shots? How many were actually on target? So these are the players who had the shots. 8 players. 4. That's not very good, is it? 14-4. Not very good at all. Yeah, like I've said before in videos like this, it should be half. So 14 should be 7 shots on target. Should be 2 to 3 goals. If you hit those ratios, you're absolutely banging. Obviously, we do create a lot of chances. We don't obviously not get them on target and don't even score. Score if you target. Exactly. Yes. Well said. So touches. Who had the most touches? Murray Wallace, George Saville, and then it drops off quite a bit to Danny, and then Further down it goes. Let's have a look at Luton actually. So how many shots? We saw they had 6. How many were on target? Yeah, they had 6 shots and 2 on target. So like that follows the ratio roughly. 6, then 2, then they could have had 1 goal, but they didn't get it. Okay, going back up and going to defensive. Who did what defensively? Simon Fleming with 4 tackles. Leonard with 3. Burke with 3. Okay, interceptions. Jake Cooper. Clearances. Brian Leonard. Sean Hutchinson. George Saville. All these other players, including George Long with the clearance there. Block shots. 2. Sean Hutchinson. Danny McCart. Passing wise, let's have a quick look at this. We've had the most passes for Millwall. Murray Wallace with 52, George Saville with 45. And look at that drop off. Dropped massively to Danny McMahon, 27. So in that case, if we go passing accuracy, obviously Romain Esse's up there, but you only have 4 passes. And then you've got Ryan Leonard, 70 off 27. I think, yeah. So Ryan Leonard, pretty good game yesterday. Crosses and accurate crosses. So George Saville 6-1, Voglsammer 3-3. The remainder say 2-0, and then Scott Malone 1-1. Long balls and accurate long balls. Murray Wallace 22-9. That's the kind of ratio you get from a goalkeeper. 22-9. You can see, look down below. George Long 17-4. Ryan Leonard 7-3. Danny 6-1. 5-1 Jake. 4-2 George Saville, and Simon Fleming 4-0. I'm guessing that's just because he was just clearing it long to no one in particular. But Voglsammer 3-2. Love that 3-2. Good stuff. Let's have a look at the ratings and see. Obviously, Ryan Leonard seems to be the standout, 7.55, and then George Saville 7.33. Sean Hutchinson coming back in to start, 7.15. Carried on where he left off. Murray Wallace 7.1. Then it drops off. We're down in the high 6s till we get to Andres Voglsammer, who's just under 6.5. And then Tom Bradshaw, the lowest of the starters. And the players at the bottom are all substitutes. All 4 substitutes are at the bottom, which is how you would expect it because they don't have a lot of time on the pitch. So how can they get a high score exactly? So yeah, on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.